Welcome to Original vs. Reboot, the show where we take reboots and remakes and compare them to their original films. I'm Karl McGlone, I'm the host of the show today. I've done this before, not in a long time, but today we're taking a look at the 1999 version of The Mummy starring Brendan Fraser and comparing it to the 2017 version of The Mummy starring Tom Cruise. At the time of recording, the 1999 version of The Mummy has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 61% based on 130 reviews, with an audience score of 75% from over 1 million ratings. However, the 2017 version has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 15% based on 246 reviews, with an audience score of 34% based on just over 50,000 views. That's quite a difference. It seems to be that the general public and the critics have already decided the 1999 version is already better. So end of the video. Well, let's dive in a little bit deeper and see if it's actually true and if the 2017 version is actually that bad. So in terms of the plot, both films basically follow the same plot, the same idea. Ancient Egyptian mummy is awoken in the future or present day. Actually, in the 1999 version, they're based in the 1920s, but you get the point. In the future, from when they're mummified, they're resurrected, and they basically want to bring forward their lover from the past, and they're threatening to destroy the world in order to do so. That's the basic of it. However, both films do differ in their approach to the plot and the characters. The 1999 version stars Brendan Fraser as adventurer Rick O'Connell. What a name for a lead man. With the help of a librarian named Evelyn and her brother, whose name I can't remember, they have to stop the mummy's curse. The 1999 version is a mix of action, adventure, and comedy, and it heavily focuses on the relationship forming between Evelyn and Rick O'Connell. The mummy is in there as well. The mummy Imhotep is the guy in this one. However, the 2017 version is a bit more serious, as you'd expect with Tom Cruise in there. It has action, it has adventure, it's far less comedy. In the 2017 version, Tom Cruise plays soldier of fortune Nick Morton. Not quite as cool as Rick O'Connell, is it? He accidentally awakens Amenet while on a secret mission in Iraq. Because why would you have a movie about an ancient Egyptian mummy in Egypt? That's insane. You have it in Iraq and then England for a while, and I think America for a while too. So Ameneth is the bad person in the 2017 version, and Imhotep is the mummy in the 1999 version. Imhotep in the 1999 version has this thing where he's trying to bring his lover from the past forward, and he needs to get these 5 vials which have his essence or something in it, or her essence in it, and he has to reform. He starts out as bone and sinew, and then he slowly begins to become a full human again as he gets more and more of these jars or whatever these things are. However, in the 2017 version, Amenet sucks the life out of people to get her life back, and she's actually trying to unleash a demon who previously gave her special powers, and then in order to do that, she needs a sacrifice who's going to be Tom Cruise. He's the one that she's picked to be the host of this demon, but it doesn't go well for her in the end because Tom Cruise ends up getting superpowers. We'll get back to that. Now, visually, both films are different. The 1999 version is set in the 1920s in Egypt, and the 2017 version is more modern day, based in Iraq and then England. So the visuals are far different. However, the CGI in the 2017 version is far superior to the 1999 version, because the 1999 version CGI is absolutely terrible. But what I will say is the 1999 version, it was a bit more ambitious with its project. It was a bit more enjoyable. Maybe that's because Brendan Fraser's in there and he's just fantastic in the role. Maybe it's because the overall story was a little bit more engaging, or maybe the 2017 version just wasn't as good. They tried to be a bit too serious with it. There's also a bit dull and grey in the 2017 version. For example, Amenet summons the sands of Egypt when she's in London to come along and, I don't know, be sand, you know, because everybody hates sand. It's rough, it's coarse, it gets everywhere. But when this big sandstorm comes into London, it's all just a big grey cloud. So it doesn't look as visually good as it could have. In the 2017 version, they were trying to start the whole dark universe thing, where other characters were going to have their own movies. Russell Crowe is in it, and he's basically got superpowers of a sword, or he's like a demon inside him as well. That was going to be a whole thing, but this movie did so badly at the box office that they said, maybe we won't continue with it. Tom Cruise is the host of this demon towards the end of the movie. Now, in the 2017 version, when I was watching it, I went into it knowing that people said it was terrible. So my expectations for it were a bit lower, and I started enjoying the movie. Large portions of the movie I did quite enjoy, but then towards the end I realized why people didn't like it. It does one of the things I hate with movies. When a movie kills off key characters and you're given a bit of shock factor, like, wow, they actually killed off this really important character to the story. That's really cool that they were willing to take that brave choice. But they do that stupid thing where towards the end of the movie, spoiler alert here, Tom Cruise, when he's taken over by a demon, is somehow able to control the demon, a bit like Venom. He then uses that powers against Aminette, and then further used that powers to bring back the people who died earlier in the movie, which just completely, wastes the death scenes. There was no point to killing them off because you're just going to bring them back. You lose any emotional value from the death of those characters. Whereas the 1999 version, characters are killed off, and quite brutally, just you don't quite see it because it's kind of a family movie. Not quite a family movie, but it's not a gore fest. Imhotep is like sucking life out of people. He's turning them to basically mummies on the ground, ripping all their life force out of them, and they're left as like a shell on the ground. I'm saying like a lot. So while the 2017 version, it had good intentions, it had its moments, it was very dark and quite dreary in points, which being a reboot of a movie which has built up something of a cult following down the years. I think everybody acknowledges the 1999 version of The Mummy isn't the greatest movie ever, but it's quite an enjoyable movie, a damn good performance from Brendan Fraser in particular, and it's just a good movie. It's not a spectacular movie, it's a good movie. 2017 version just sucked all life out of it, ironically. It had so much potential, they could have done more with it, it's a shame they didn't. So in the end, in my opinion, it's an easy choice as to which is better. The 1999 version is far superior, but I'd love to know your opinions in the comments section below. Let me know, what do you think, which is better, the 1999 version of Mummy or the 2017 version of Mummy? If you've got other points to argue for the 2017 version that I haven't taken into consideration why it should be better than the 1999 version, let me know all about it in the comments section below. And if you've got a recommendation for a movie comparison, original versus reboot or remake, let me know all about it in the comment section below. The next one that we're going to do is A Star Is Born. There's a lot of versions of that movie, so we'll have to wait and find out which ones we're going to be comparing next. With all that being said, I'll catch you in the next video.